Bentornati! Welcome back for the pilot episode of the Cataclysm Dark Changes Ahead. In this show, I'm going to discuss the past week's changelog for the experimental branch of CDDA. Before we dive in, let me remind you that I very much love the software artifact called CDDA and the people that contribute to its making. So please, don't get too mad if and when I end up criticizing a particular design choice or behavior. I strongly believe that criticism, preferably the constructive kind, is a very important drive towards excellence. Let me also point out that the Murder Unicorn is also publishing a regular CDDA changelog show called Experimental Cataclysm, in which he explains and demonstrates in-game each week's major changes. So you should feel free to go there to take a look at the changes in practice, while in here I will be discussing my point of view on development and game design. Why should my opinion matter, you ask? No reason at all. I've been a programmer and user interface developer for more than 10 years, but that doesn't necessarily make me good at game design. Funnily enough though, this is more or less the same place most CDDA contributors come from. We can just agree that my opinion is just as good as anybody else's, I think. Last thing, I promise this recording was originally meant to be a segment attached at the end of a CDDA Let's Play video, so when you hear me talking about that other show, I mean this show. It's a little bit weird, but don't worry, we'll figure it out together in time. Let's jump right on in. So, that was a little bit of a icon there. Let's dive on in. I love that guy. So they added a handful of survivor notes. It's good. We don't stop as much as we could reading survivor notes. Fix weak point dissection practice. So this must relate to the new addition of the weak points. But weak points dissection practice. Can we see more about this? Correct the amount of weak point practice gained by dissecting. So there is a practice in weak points. Am I reading this right? This sounds exciting already. Currently a character only gained 15 minutes of practice instead of expecting 30 minutes. Modify the weak point dissection code to display a message. Currently the message... Okay, describe the solution. Well, okay, there was a bug in the code, but the thing that I just learned is that by dissecting a corpse, you practice your weak point proficiency, which sounds really neat. Routine internationalization updates. It's okay, more internationalization. Clarified message about setting timer for C4. That seems important and useful, thank you. Basecamp expansion. There's been a lot of Basecamp expansions in the past weeks. I'm not going through all of them because, to be honest, I don't know much about building a base camp. It's something that I will have to start experiment at some point, but I think at this point I will wait for this wave of expansions to finish so that we get, more content. Add next weather dialogue effect. Next weather dialogue. Allow dialogue effect to force a weather type recheck. Add a new command, removed obsolete documentation, and moved lightning function to prevent error about invalid. Describe alternatives, you could say. Okay, there isn't much in here, and this is something I would discuss in the other show. The fact that most of these issues are called, but really these are the descriptions or the discussions around code branches. They don't say too much, and I would like them to be a little bit more precise. But then again, let's continue. Rename Tailoring 10 achievement. Okay, there's an achievement for reaching Tailoring 10, and it's got a new name. Let's look at the new name while we are here. No summary. The original text is a bit troublesome, proposing something not related to binary gender as a tagline. Okay, why don't you I think you should have discussed more in depth what the problem was with the previous one. Again, material for the other show. Sorry about that. So we don't know. That's the problem. We don't know what the new text is. Like, tell me what so that I may see that you did a good work, you know? Good job. But if you don't show your good work, how do I know? Additional samples from mutagen recipes. Additional samples. Additional ingredients. Add additional ingredients for mutagen recipes to match rabbit, snail, and frog. Okay, so now we can craft also those, it seems. Auto-forage crops. Allow crops to be auto-forage. Okay, I like when you get... Oh, this is not even a screenshot, this is a video. So now you can go through, you know, with auto... Let's look at this. And oh, okay, it's really brief. Like, he just stepped in here. Let's try and take a look at this. So, auto foraging. He selects. I didn't see crops. Okay, selects crops. Save changes. Then takes a step and auto forages. Harvests crops. Well, that should make things easier for everybody that likes crops. Only pull translation workflow in... That's okay, that's an internal thing about pulling translation files. More Basecamp extensions. I think this means that now you can make the second workshop expansion out of metal, logs, and or concrete. Fix Exodi quadruped spell. Weren't Exodi all about robots? Why spells? It may be that spell is the internal name of effects in general. This led me to make a couple balance changes with the purpose of making this monster more like to use the cool spell. So it's like it's a monster that uses a spell, but yeah, you see, fires its PAMD-68 battle rifle. The thing is, internally, being a thing that a monster does, and monsters are not like characters or NPCs, to fire a battle rifle, it's gotta have a spell. I think this is what it means. Update tile sets. Chibioltica, MSX, and brown like bears. You know, we could try and switch to standard MSX. Okay. So, MSX. Ooh, is this the... This is so cute. This is the nurse bot. Look at that. It's amazing. All right. I can try switching to the MSX. Why not? Helipad.json use barbed wire fence. So this is probably an addition to the map for the helipad. Now uses wire fence. Change 5.7 to 5.7 with a capital N. Yeah. To align more with real life. I will discuss this in the other show. View offset is not saved while driving. This is a statement. Did you fix that though? Added save and load for the player's view offset. Okay, thank you. Okay. Because, you know, if you write it like this, it just seems like you're stating that. Fix crash when getting related recipes with no components and results for current recipe. Okay, fixed a crash. Sounds good. Color relics in inventory in pink. I like colors in inventory. Yeah, makes them easier to spot, I guess. Change P32 to P-32 and P3AT to P-3AT. Yeah, it's the same person. Change the name of the pistol and magazines for it to better fit with the other Keltec firearms and real life. Added descriptions to electric motors in vehicle screen. Add support for dynamic predecessor map gen. This sounds like an internal map generation code thingies that I'm not gonna discuss. Rummaging mod. The rummaging mod. Content. Add rummaging mod. Oh, some furniture containers need to open the door to scavenge, to enhance the thrill of scavenging. Look, this sentence here, it's very short, but this is what I want. I want my contributors, well, I say my, I'm just a player, but I want to see contributors stating very clearly what their intent is in terms of gameplay, not in terms of because that is better or because that aligns more with real life. Like, I'm playing a video game. I don't necessarily want to align myself with real life. You know about that, right? Games are about escapism most of the time. Also, zombies and cosmic horrors don't really align with real life too much, right? But, you know, saying, well, I'm gonna make more furniture containers so that you have to get close to them and open the door and rummage through them, because that, in my opinion, so Brett Dong's opinion, that enhances the thrill of scavenging. That is a very valid opinion, and I like that you think like that. So, Brett Dong, you get my my onion of approval. Because why disturb seals? Like let seals alone, people. Come on. Then again, added bird watching profession. Love that. I love that. The only profession with a pair of binoculars starting out was Major General, which was odd to me. I wanted to have a profession with a pair of binoculars. That makes an incredible amount of sense. An incredible amount of sense. Now you have a profession where you start with a pair of binoculars. Bird watching. Fix compile errors, good. Add missing translation in aiming UI, good. Traverse old strings in MO translation document to detect memory access violation, do that, please. Add this description to combustion engines in vehicle screen, good. Added military flight suit. Added military flight suit and helmet to item groups. Okay, military flight suit is a new item. Added oversized tag for XL gloves fur, oversized tag added to XL Nomic socks. Mopping zone. A mopping zone. Auto mopping and mopping zone. That seems interesting. You know, if you are into base building, or you want to simply keep your base clean in a certain area, you can add a mopping zone and then auto mop. That seems incredibly nice to have. Not vital, but very nice. Added looks like and land use code to secret lab entrance. That's interesting. That's interesting. So looks like makes me think that is maybe map tiles that display as something until you get maybe really close, or maybe until you pass a spot check or something like that, and then you know what it really is. Otherwise, looks like something else. That seems very, very interesting. Belt loop container for survivor belt. Belt loop container adds an extra pocket with the belt loop flag. So now it should work like a pocket. It's a survivor belt, you need to place and hold you'll need a place to hold a single large tool. Just simply make a new pocket with a belt loop flag. And I'm guessing belt loop flag assigned to a pocket means do not restrict length, I hope? Tactical vest and XL chest rig fixed layering issue. Thank you. Change military pilot profession clothes. Few food recipe fixes and balances. I have gathered a few different issues in this PR. Not sure this is common, but I'll put a list. New vegetable salad recipe that uses a tool, food processor. Add fried meat. Sounds delicious. Rationalize glare protection. So, glare protection has been rationalized, people, because Nornagon worked on it. All items with glare protection 1 have had the quality removed. All items with glare protection 2 or 3 have been changed to have glare protection 1. Oh, because it says glare protection 1 confers no benefit whatsoever. Is it true though? So, it was suggested that glare protection 1 provide the sunglasses effect, and that glare protection 3 provide the flash protection. No, this was the suggestion. However, in my opinion, this is a worse solution because 1. Largely other tool qualities do not confirm gameplay effects other than recipe groupings, and 2. Tool qualities are not self-explanatory in the examine screen. This is true actually, and sorry Nornagon for joking about this earlier, but he's right. Tool qualities are not self-explanatory. Glare protection 1 is not self-explanatory to the player in what it does, you know? If instead you say, these are sunglasses, they provide sunglasses effect, well, that it's not the be-all end-all of self-explanation, but it's better. No, but he went for something else. What is flags in the description on the effect they confer? Further, the sunglasses and flash protection flags are not consistently applied to items with glare protection quality, so this would result in a change in behavior for some such items. As this PR does not change balance at all, only removes levels of a tool quality which have no in-game purpose. But wait. So if sunglasses work because of glare protection 1 and you removed that, all items with glare protection 1 had the quality removed. I don't know, I hope sunglasses still work. That's all I'm gonna say. Add the new magicalism snippets, whatever that means. Fix item with different mods getting stacked together. Yeah, that would be a problem. When you stack items together, they become indistinguishable. At least, if I understand correctly what this means. But in game development terms, when you have a stack, it means that you have one object, but from all intents and purposes, one object, and then just a number of how many of that exact object you have. The problem is, if you have object with different mods attached, like weapons with mods, and you stack them, you will lose the info about some of the mods, or potentially you would be able to duplicate mods. Let's not get too much into detail on that, but it's a good thing that they fixed it. Critical hit coverage. Critical hit coverage, that seems interesting. Armor attribute that covers a portion of crit damage. This is part of a more comprehensive coverage balance. This adds coverage values for additional categories, melee, ranged, and vitals. Certain armor pieces would be more effective at protecting vitals, aka protection from critical hits. Currently, monster attacks do not generate critical hits. Characters can crit using either melee attacks or projectile attacks. The implementation of critical hits is a bit scattered around the codebase, so some minor adjustments were made. The targeted body part of a melee attack is determined after rolling damage. this was moved into the damage roll. Crit mitigation reduces additional damage from critical hits, which affects projectile attack result, bash, cut and stab multiplier for armor penetration for melee attacks, and sub-functions. Okay. And how do we... No. Though. Oh damn. What is this? What is now... Oh my god. No, I mean, I appreciate the way we are going with this, but the thing is, this is now nearly impossible to read. So this would mean this is an item. It provides armor to your arms of 1. So why would you even read this? But let's imagine it's 10, okay? Provides 10 armor over arms, okay? But coverage is 50% against melee critical damage, 45% against ranged critical damage, and 5% against vitals? So there's melee, ranged, and vitals. Oh no, sorry, wait a second. Coverage is 50. It says 50% coverage. But it's 45 when you talk about melee. It's 30 when you talk about ranged. How can that even be? When you try to strike somebody at range, you have less choice of an angle of attack. So, and how can you... I'm gonna make a prediction here, and I'm sorry, I'm moving heavily into the territory of the extra of the other show, but okay, at this point this is a pilot of the Let's Discuss the Changelog show. I'm gonna predict that this produces some form of backlash, because first of all, it's really hard to argue that all of this makes total sense. Because when you say, okay, and coverage is treated as 62 in terms of melee, but melee dog bite and melee hatchet and melee rapier are totally different things, right? For example, a dog bite cannot get into a 1-inch wide opening in your armor, can it? A dog bite needs to close around one of your appendages, right? Whereas a thin blade, like for example, if you get attacked by an insect that has very sharp legs, for example, that can get through. So why did you choose to go in such detail and says that, yeah, let's split how much it covers you, and this penalizes ranged? It seems that you think ranged is only spray attacks, right? So if you're thinking a acid ant spraying acid on you, yeah, maybe something that can cover you more from spray attacks compared to melee attacks. But if instead there's an enemy that can shoot quills in your direction, that's a totally different thing. So you are going in a direction that you cannot really go. You can't really be that precise. You need abstraction in a game for these things. The thing is, you need to choose a clever way to abstract all of this. This to me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I love you, but this to me seems incredibly clunky. It's gonna take some of you an enormous amount of time to go through and change all these numbers. What is gonna happen is that you are going to just write a automatic function that goes through everything and assigns values based on, I don't know, based on a percentage, like saying, okay, if coverage is this, I don't know, remove 15% and that's your melee cover, then remove 30% and that's your ranged, and then do like 10% of that and that's your cover. And you're gonna apply that for everything, and then things are gonna make no sense at all for a while, and then very slowly, extremely slowly, some poor soul will have to go through and change all these values. And look at this, it's for an average armor, well, not average, okay, this armor covers torso, arms and legs, but let's say for just a jacket covers your torso and arms. It's how many values? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 values for an average jacket. I'm sorry, I strongly disagree with this direction. You could have abstracted this in the following way. This armor has 95 coverage, and then you only have another number to represent how easy it is to get in the gaps. Okay? So, for example, if you say, I don't know, let's imagine a scrap metal armor, okay? This is a scrap metal full body armor, okay? You can say, I can layer a lot of scrap metal, so my coverage is pretty high. I can say, I don't know, 80, 90% coverage, but being that it is made of scrap metal, the seams are not very effective. You can get in there, so if you are skilled at getting in the weak points, okay, your skill is gonna have 90% effectiveness. Whereas, let's compare to a full suit of historical, well-made plate armor, it's gonna have 95% coverage, and your skill at hitting the weak points is only gonna have a 30% success chance. Whereas instead, let's go all the way. If you get to the phase immersion suit has 100% coverage, 0% weak point, or maybe like only just 5%. Like that is only one value. You can use that for everything, because you can say that if you get in the weak point of the armor, then you have maybe a slightly higher a slightly higher chance to get a critical hit, or maybe not at all, you know, because armor is supposed to be made so that it covers exactly your vitals, you know, otherwise it's just bad armor. So an armor that has coverage like above 95, right? It means that has a 95% chance to stop damage against your vitals. I mean, that's by definition. Why would you even consider having armor that says, yeah, cover is 90%, but only covers your vitals like 5%? What the hell is that? That is fantasy slut armor. Right? That would be World of Warcraft female armor. That's what it is, isn't it? It's armor that is great, looks great, is very hot, but doesn't cover your heart, because that's where your cleavage is. I don't know, guys, I'm sorry. I strongly disagree with this. strongly disagree. It's extremely clunky, extremely hard to maintain. It's gonna make it extremely harder for people to balance and to add new stuff. And when you look at it, it's also extremely hard to use. Extremely hard to use, okay? You could have given us just two value. Coverage, it is pretty self-explanatory. Like, okay, jumpsuit, coverage, 71%, whatever that means. And, well, just weak points. Or weak point reduction, 60%. Because it's a jumpsuit, you know? It's an entire piece of cloth, okay? So, there's no seams, basically. However, it's just protection 0.2, so that would make perfect sense. And you understand that immediately. So I strongly disagree with this. Fragile television. That's self-explanatory. Added length to bone. Add indefatigable and fleet-footed to marathon runner. That makes sense. Make heavy-duty flashlight work underwater. Nice addition. Fixes. Well, we got fixes, boys. Fixes. Replace cooking with food handling. The whole summary should just be the word none, and you should use... I think they want to say shouldn't just be the word none, and you should use one of these V instead of correct, so it auto-closes the issue. Is this contributors teaching each other how to trick the GitHub system so that they don't have to write proper descriptions? That's what it looks to me. That's what it looks to me. Well, at least they will try to do better next time. You gotta give credit, you know, when somebody wants to do better. That's the best that you can hope, really, from any human being, to be honest. Martial arts balance update, Dragon Kung Fu. Added length to chopsticks. Improved gambeson. They improved the gambeson. Adds a Kevlar version of the gambeson. Okay. Kevlar gambeson. I like that. I may make use of it. More base camp, more rebalance of karate, return of the nuke. Oh, in no hope mode, okay. Magicalism. And that is gonna be it for this first episode. Sorry if it's a little bit all over the place and I kept mentioning, oh, this is material for the other show, because this, as I said, was initially meant to go right after one of my Let's Play videos, so I was trying to be very brief. I didn't want to get too much in depth, but then on some of the issues I managed to get in depth all the same. The thing is though, going forward, I would like to do exactly that. I would like to take every single change and discuss the implications on game design and gameplay and try to predict where things are gonna go, or try to propose another idea or stuff like that, just a discussion. So let me know what you think about that. Let me know if you liked what you heard already, or if this is of any interest to you, and feel free to discuss down in the comments. That said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Alla prossima!